Hi, this is Sally Morgan, physical therapist, craniosacral therapist, and Tellington T-Touch practitioner for animals and people. This is Tristan. He's a Corgi. He's wearing his tie for Mother's Day. He wanted to look swell for Mom. And happy Mother's Day. I thought one of the things that would be fun to do today is to read to you a section of my book that is particularly about my mother. She'll get a kick out of it, and frankly, at 81, I think she is, I think it's good for me to do something that she'll get a kick out of because I gave her an Ancestry.com DNA test for her Mother's Day present. The whole family's done it except for me and her, and if she and my dad have done it, then so what? So anyway, I didn't want her to feel left out, so that's not a very motherly Mother's Day present. So I thought I would read this section of my book, which is really about her besides the very opening section of the book. And you'll learn a lot about T-Touch if you didn't already. And for those who don't know, my book is Dances of the Heart, Connecting with Animals, available on Amazon by Sally Morgan. And this is pretty far through the book. At one of the first clinics held at Campbell Farm, we had a kind woman participate with her paint horses, and one of them, Joni, was called One Up from Stuffed because she was as calm as a stuffed animal. Her rider brought her along to have a safe course for all of the beginners to work with. My mom was one of the people participating in the clinic, as well as an instructor my sister had working with her, and a few students with their own horses, including a big bay thoroughbred just off the track. We had some of Judy's ponies, Betsy, a tiny white show pony late in her senior years, Smokey, her kid's first pony, Judy's own horse, Rocky, as well as my horse, Burgers. Everyone except me knew all of the horses at the clinic. In our morning circle, I asked people to introduce their horses and tell us what they wanted to get from the work that day, and answers ranged from have fun and feel safe with my horse. After this, we worked in pairs to learn some of the basic bodywork T-touches. Then we brought out the horses and paired them up, some riders working with their own horses and some not. As we moved through the day, practicing leading exercises over obstacles and through the T-touch labyrinth, people struggled with keeping the lead lines folded neatly for safety, holding a wand, and learning to lead ahead of their horse's shoulders, since many of the participants were used to leading by the shoulder for their 4-H horse showmanship classes. At lunch break, everyone was excited about the changes they were seeing in the horses, how relaxed the horses were, and they remarked to how quickly the bodywork made changes in the horse's posture and balance. A few people wanted to try riding without a bridle. After all, these horses were ridden Western, many of them ridden in hackamores already, and it would be an easy transition for them. Others, including my mother, wanted to do more work with the leading exercises. So after lunch, I again paired people with different horses, partnering my short 4-foot 10-inch mom with a tall bay thoroughbred, and some timid riders with gentle Joni, and children with Burgers and Rocky. I had them all follow one another through a confidence course of ground poles, a spiral, a random pile of poles we call pickup sticks, through 2 labyrinths, a trot section, around cones, and over plastic and plywood, asking the people to change leading positions as they went, from elegant elephant to cheetah to cobra, and others as they moved around the big ring. And those are some of the ground exercises that we do in Tellington T-touch classes. Everyone was in perfect synchrony, truly a dance, as each horse seemed to move his legs in time with the ones ahead and behind him, varying pace and collection as the leaders changed to each position. It was beautiful to watch everyone's success, with some of the women becoming tearful at their accomplishments and the kids increasingly excited about their own progress. We traded horses, even leading on the offside, and continued again with great success. No one confused their lead lines or was pulled around by their horses. It was the harmony of horse and rider we all longed to feel, but for a whole group of horses and riders. Here's actually a picture of my mother riding my sister's pony, Smokey, and that's me riding Burgers next to her. She's riding a little short 12-2 pony. She looks perfect on him. And then a few people saddled and bridled, and we began the process of riding without a bridle to learn some of the T-touch riding with awareness skills. Others gathered in their chairs to watch, some holding a pony munching hay. I put neck rings on the riding horses and showed each person how to use them. Then we walked and halted, easing into a trot, first with a bridle with the reins tied, and then I took off Joni's bridle and she shook her head and turned to look back at her rider, who gave her a pat. She lengthened her top line and walked off calmly, and everyone there would say that Joni was smiling. Soon Rocky and Judy were riding at the walk and trot without a bridle, Judy grinning and saying what a great horse Rocky was. Gwen, age 7, rode Burgers, and a few others joined in. Gwen even did some small jumps without a bridle, and her mom, not wanting to be outdone, followed behind with Rocky. Everyone wanted to try riding without a bridle, even my mother, who rode Burgers as I walked next to him, and to her my 15 three-hand Morgan seemed like a giant, so she was pretty scared. At the end of the day, during our wrap-up circle, people reported highlights of the day, some asking to go twice as they had gained so much new understanding that day. The Big Bay Thoroughbred's owner said, "I never thought I'd see the day when Mrs. Morgan could lead my horse around safely and quietly do bodywork with him." I asked what did she mean, and she explained that until that day, her horse had been dangerous for even experienced people to handle, and had in fact knocked down her husband when he was leading him into the barn that morning. "Oh," I said, "I thought you hadn't brought that horse and we were going to work with him alone tomorrow. I had no idea." The horse had been perfectly calm, even adjusting his height by lowering his head to my mom's level and calmly standing while she practiced T-touches on his shoulders and head. Mom said she didn't know this was the dangerous horse either, or she would never have worked with him. The horse was ever known after as the quiet fellow Mrs. Morgan had worked with. The group had a chuckle, and I pointed out the effect that expectations and intentions have on our riding experiences. Clearly, no one here expected that horse, or any of them, to have any problems that day, except that horse's owner, who had been working with one of the small ponies for most of the clinic. We had established a shared intention that morning for everyone to have fun and learn some new things, and that's exactly what happened. No one was hurt or afraid, neither horses or humans. And my mom's horse became that horse of Mrs. Morgan's thoroughbred, and he was a really dangerous horse. I had seen him a few days before, and he was pretty traumatized from his life at the track, and so it was a miracle that my mother and the intention of the group were able to calm that horse, and my mom was able to have a wonderful experience herself, building her confidence by working with a big, tall horse. So, happy Mother's Day to everyone. Don't forget that if you have a pet, you are his mother, and I mean that in the sense that you are his guardian, his caretaker, everything that the word mother implies, not necessarily that your dog is your baby. Some people like that phrase, but I really think of my dog as something that it's my responsibility to protect and take care of and love, and that's what they do for us too, right, Tristan? So happy Mother's Day. Everybody enjoy your day, and if your mother is over the Rainbow Bridge, you can still think of her today and think of the things in you that remind you of her. And if your mother was a person who was deeply troubled, you can still send her love and appreciation for the fact that you're here because of her. So thanks for joining us today for this Conversations with a Corgi. Happy Mother's Day, everyone. Everybody have a beautiful day. It's warmer here than yesterday. Oh, this is a good blouse. It's tan, but it's pretty. I haven't worn it since the episodes of Flower Essences a year ago. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I will be back on Tuesday. We're still going to be looking at flea and tick products because there's so much to say about them. And this coming week, I'll be at my job as an educator on Monday and Wednesday with my dog. And I'll see you Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. Happy Mother's Day.